So hello. The purpose of this video is to show you the responsibilities of usher number one in our Mass settings today. First and foremost, like every other minister in the parish, we wear gloves and we wear a face mask. For the purpose of the video, I'm not going to wear a face mask so you can actually hear what I'm saying. Before Mass, the usher number one seats parishioners on the east side of the building. So we do that by receiving them at the door after reception and walking them towards us. I'll show you with Carolyn right here. She can come with me. Towards us, down the center aisle, and if you think like a typewriter, always from right to left. You'll notice when you come to Mass or when you serve at Mass, we've designated areas for the ease of the ushers and for the ease of our parishioners that are designed for each small cohort. So individual families, couples, and single people. They're all given names of saints. So we seat them east and west side. Usher 2's responsibility is west side. And the idea is to keep our parishioners apart from each other so we're not congregating and so on, because the parishioners don't have to wear the safety equipment that we have, gloves and masks, save for when they have to wear masks at communion, but otherwise they don't. So we maintain proper social distances. During communion, the role of usher number one is to bring row by row by row, pew by pew by pew, parishioners to communion. So prior to communion, Father will give them a brief description of what needs to be done, don your masks and so on. Normally the lector provides the first response, or provides the first example of how it's done so everyone can watch. And then usher number one brings row by row people to communion, starting with the east side, then the west side, and then the rear area of the church. Third role of the ushers is exit. And both ushers have responsibility to do this. Number two's responsibility is to allow people to leave the building in an orderly fashion, again, pew by pew, just like we loaded them. In this case, given the structure of our church, what we do is we start from back to front. So usher number two will, row by row in the rear section, lead people out of the building. And we ask, the lector or father will ask them to remain seated until they're called. And then the usher will come up the west side of the building and from the back to the front, ask people to leave from the right-hand side or from the west side, and then come around to the east side of the building and do the same thing, back to front, right to left. So the couples and people can remain there, keep their social distance during the exit. We encourage all our parishioners not to gather inside the church. I know we're friends, we want to talk, we haven't seen each other all week. In some cases we haven't seen each other for months. They're encouraged to do outside, again, at a proper social distance from each other. Thank you, and God bless.